Ella Fitzgerald was one of America's most prolific jazz singers of the 20th century, often nicknamed the First Lady of Song, Queen of Jazz, and Lady Ella. Fitzgerald was born in Newport News, Virginia, to William and Temperance Tempe Fitzgerald on April 25, 1917. Her father and mother parted ways shortly thereafter, and Tempe later had another boyfriend, to whom they welcomed a younger sister, Frances, into the world. At 15 years old, Ella's mother died in a car accident, resulting in Ella moving from Yonkers, New York to Harlem in New York City to live with her aunt. Depressed about her mother's death, Ella began skipping school and got in trouble with the police, resulting in them bringing her to a reform school. Despite Ella's grief, the love for music Tempe imparted upon her daughter persisted, and Ella escaped from the reform school and began singing and living on the streets of Harlem the songs that her mother had played for her as a child. Growing up, Ella's favorite musicians were Louis Armstrong, Bing Crosby, and the Boswell sisters. A weekly drawing at the Apollo Theater in 1934 would change Ella's professional and personal life forever. Right as she was about to perform her dance number, two sisters went on and danced better than Ella ever could. Thinking of something to do instead, she began singing the songs of her childhood, two songs by the Boswell sisters that her mother had played for her as a child, and the crowd loved her. Though she was shy, she felt at home on stage in the spotlight. She that night met saxophonist Benny Carter, who would begin introducing her to those in the music industry that could help her begin a career. She performed in and won every talent show in Harlem. From this point on, Ella began touring with Chick Webb's band and making her own recordings with moderate success. She began experimenting with scat singing and jazz, and in 1938, she released A Tisket a Tasket, which sold 1 million copies and launched Ella into the spotlight. After touring with Chick's band for years, Ella met Ray Brown, a bassist, and the two fell in love and got married. They also adopted a son whom they loved very much, and his name was Ray Jr. Even though they were very much in love, their busy work schedules prevented them from spending enough time with each other, and the two divorced in 1952, but remained good friends for life. Over the course of her career, Ella toured all over the world and covered hundreds of songs. Cole Porter, Duke Ellington, the Gershwins, Johnny Mercer, Irving Berlin, and Rodgers and Hart. These artists and audiences alike loved her renditions. Ira Gershwin even went so far as to comment that he never knew how good his music was until Ella sang it. She also frequented television programs and talk shows like The Dean Martin Show, The Bing Crosby Show, and The Frank Sinatra Show. She sang with the greats, including Frank Sinatra, and performed in Carnegie Hall 26 times over the course of her career. She was later inducted into the Downbeat Magazine Hall of Fame and received Kennedy Center honors, and she was also awarded the National Medal of Arts by Ronald Reagan, which she considered to be her highest accolade. After decades of being one of the most famous jazz singers in the United States, Ella died from complications due to diabetes in 1996. Her memory lives on today, and she will forever be known as one of the most talented African American women in the music industry.